What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. Today I want to talk to you on two different aspects, one of which is a huge amount of institutional purchasing that is happening behind the scenes to Lucid, and on the contrary though, shorts. What shorts are ultimately doing with Lucid as well. So I'm going to go over both aspects, but before I do, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up is always greatly appreciated. With that, let's get right to it. Laugh Taker is going at the very bottom of the screen. A very nice change of events, more so from Friday's massive sell-off, but we are green, so that's a very good takeaway. Up roughly about 4%, 14.9 million for volume, 1.4 million shares being purchased by institutions on the secondary market. And you can tell based on this intraday chart, we had a nice little spike first thing in the morning, and that was actually a very small short squeeze. So I'm just going to quickly pop over here. So as of right now, there is 726,000 shares being increased. So again, this is where a lot of shorts play a big part in Lucid's volatility. I'm just going to quickly get rid of this just so you can see the chart per se. But at the very bottom right here, you do see the return shares, the borrowed shares, and ultimately the net and so forth. So as far as the return shares, you do see a nice little spike first thing in the morning. So almost 1.3 million shares being returned very first thing in the morning. And this is where you get that nice little spike from. So in reality, this was a very good small short squeeze. Whether you take that how you see that, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But when it comes down to that though, we are starting to taper off a little bit. So shorts took the opportunity to close out some of the positions. And unfortunately, going back here, as far as borrowed shares, it does look like they are slowly increasing their position as far as bringing it down. So this is what is happening in the broader market when it comes down to shorts. And just quickly popping over to Interactive Brokers just to show you something. So when it comes to it though, Lucid is still among one of the always top 10 heavily shorted stocks, or hottest stocks if you want to call it that. So Lucid at one time was either 1 or 2, so it's definitely still up there. As of right now is number 6. So let me know your thoughts on that. It's always still one of the most heavily shorted stocks, and in reality a lot of shorts take advantage of the ambiguous scenario. So a lot of the production fears and issues as far as recalls, things like that, shorts have been there ready to pounce first thing. So it's a little bit more vultures. That's how I interpret and see shorts. But there was actually a video recently posted on Bloomberg about that same topic. So it says shorting the market, and basically anyone shorting the market at this stage in the game needs to be very scared and worried. So I'm just going to quickly play this for you guys and get your interpretation and your thoughts on this. So let me know your thoughts overall on this video. So I'm just going to hit play and mute myself.
The market is by shorting individual stocks. You can do that on eToro or Robinhood, for example. And apparently, new short positions have run up a lot, almost 2/3 higher than this time last year. Or, say you're more experienced, going short using a put option or on margin. But this is where the risks rack up. When the market rallies, you lose. And if using borrowed money, you can lose more than you put in. Even the market's biggest pessimists, they are expecting some moves higher as we get closer to year end. And remember, this time of year is usually pretty good for stocks. The S&P 500 gained on average 4% in the final quarter during the past 20 years. When you're short and the market goes the other way, that is up, your losses could be unlimited. So, trade carefully.
So I found that very interesting as far as a video. Hopefully you guys knew most of that information. If you guys have any questions about anything I touched on as far as any of this information, let me know in the comments below. But the fact that there's actually even this video around about shorts, it goes to show that there's definitely going to be something big coming. And more so as well, I think a lot of institutions are becoming very, very optimistic about the huge amount of discounted value that's happening in the economy. So when it comes to it though, what you refer to as far as puts, there is a lot of institutions out there that have a lot of puts on Lucid. And so that's something you definitely need to factor into the bigger picture. But when it comes to it though, I think a lot of them are also on the same time and same aspect closing out the positions. And so I think this is a good transition on what I wanted to talk on next, and that's a huge amount of institutions that are constantly buying Lucid. So this is the big players in the game. The PIF recently recently announced their actual 13F, so this came as a surprise. So you do see the PIF, they maintained their position, which is always a very good thing. And funny enough, I don't know why they did it on October the 11th. It should be, in theory, the first week in November. So this caught me off guard. It completely just fell underneath the radar. This usually in this time period is just a bunch of small fish. So I did do a video on this exact same thing yesterday on why it is a very big deal. More specifically, even if you do look at the 13F, in case you guys missed that video, there's a lot of bullish things that happened in here, and basically them increasing their position is on a lot of good spec plays, such as Shopify. So the fact that they're increasing, I think on Shopify was 900%, the fact that that is being done is very, very bullish. So let me know your thoughts on that. But going back to this though, you do see a lot of other bigger players such as Vanguard, BlackRock, and through all their ETFs, they did increase 11.53 million, and Vanguard increased 2.53 million as well. Even Geode did increase 2.17. You do get a lot of the bigger players in Lucid, with the exception of the PIF who maintain their position, but you get everyone else increasing the position. So I think in the grand scheme of things, yes, we're on a little bit more of a downtrend, but you need to do what a lot of these big players are doing. Take advantage of these cheap discounted prices, as what a lot of other investors need to do, because bigger picture and long term, these are steals of a deal. Keep in mind though, I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are only for entertainment purposes only. So in the end, I hope you're entertained by all this, but I think Lucid is a very interesting company, especially an early stage company that has a massive amount of institutions supporting it. And unfortunately, it's one of those things as well, like I already mentioned, shorts are really taking advantage of a lot of the kind of issues that Lucid's encountered. So it's a very interesting scenario, Lucid. There's a lot of stocks out there and nothing similar to the scenario that Lucid is going through. The huge amount of institutional presence that Lucid has, but yet shorts are really being able to manipulate it. So a very interesting thing going on. But when it comes to it though, the technicals are looking fairly good for the most part. We are kind of retracing a little bit, but still very much oversold based on the stochastic, which is at 17. And looking at momentum indicator, you can tell a number of retail investors aren't necessarily really getting into this rally from today. So it's one of those things. Let me know your thoughts on that. And if you've been buying today, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. RSI is also at 37. So it's a very interesting time period. But like I said, I think this is an excellent time to add my own 2 cents and interpretation on all of this fun stuff. But hopefully if you guys are having a good Monday start to the week, if you guys haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. If you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships. Link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.